All right.
What's up? Welcome back to Who's Sitting at Your Table. I'm Cheese.
And I'm Tony, and today's episode is about healing, connection, and medicine that comes from consciousness.
So before we begin, Tony, how's your energy today? What are you bringing into the conversation?
My energy today is Tasmanian devil.
What's going on? What's that all about?
I'm like, I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna go do that. I'm gonna go do this. You didn't do anything,
Well, we have a little
and not the
secret.
Taz you're
The
thinking either, by
Taz,
the way.
yeah, the
But
Taz.
but no, I just have a lot on my plate with work, events, trying to get this house to close, and then Desi not well, and working with her and her health. My dog Desi, Darina, by the way, she's an older pit bull, and she's not very healthy right now, and so she has like spine issues, and so
Oh,
have to whenever I take her outside to put her in a harness, and we have stairways, so we have to
oh,
do the so just, but she sends good spirits, like, otherwise, just her she's just an old lady. But otherwise, energy is Tasmanian devil. I'm sticking with it.
I like it.
How about you, Cheese? How's your energy?
I this week has been all about organizing kind of the dreams and starting to implement. So I've been taking a lot of
Nice.
AI lessons, SQL lessons. I've been kind of finalizing my book. I've been off the sauce for like 5 days, so I'm a little cranky about
The
that.
sauce? The sauce meaning alcohol?
Yeah, I've been doing it more socially than as a reward each evening, to like for the health benefits and I'm getting to the gym and that sort of thing. But yeah, I'm in general I'm happy and I'm really happy about your house closing. And today, we're welcoming someone who carries so much grace, depth, and grounded feminine wisdom. Founder of Plume, Darina Signeski. Darina, welcome to the table. Tell us about your week. How has it been going?
Hi, thank you. Thank you for having me. My weeks have been great, except it's raining in Arizona and I know I should love it, but I don't. It's just cold and gray. So yeah, but otherwise I'm great. Thank you.
Okay, so let's start about how this all got going. Can you share how you and I originally met through our daughters and how that turned into this beautiful friendship?
I know. I don't know how many years that's been, but I think girls were like 3 or 4. They started ISA, the International School of Arizona.
Ah,
Addie was in Spanish track. Jasmine, my daughter, was in French. So we weren't like super close, but we saw each other at all these events and drop offs and whatnot. And then the girls became really good friends. And yeah, so I guess that's how we, got closer. And you're an amazing person, and so happy to know you.
Aw,
Yeah.
stop.
sounds
Stop.
lovely.
Yeah, no, I what I love is they become such good friends. Actually, they travel. Like you took them overseas last summer.
Wow.
They went clubbing together. And they've gone to, really healthy kind of inspirational events together and it's just cute. They really have a close connection and I'm grateful for their friendship.
They do. I mean, literally, I get Happy Mother's Day from Addie every year. And she comes
Aw.
over. She's like my third daughter. I really just, she's amazing. I love her. Jasmine went with you guys, or we took Addie a bunch of times to go places. So they pick each other. And
They're
Yeah.
yeah, it's
besties.
beautiful.
They're like
Yep.
sisters,
They have just a
besties.
precious friendship and we're
That's
grateful
cute.
for Jasmine as well. Definitely. She's a beautiful soul.
Yeah.
She gave me
Awesome.
one of my second tattoo. So thank
Oh,
you,
really?
Jasmine.
Oh, I think I
Yes.
remember you mentioning that, Darina, that she does the
Yeah.
chat. Yeah, that's
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
awesome.
a tattoo artist.
That's awesome. She's an artistic, creative.
Soul. Yep.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. Well, your brand name, La Plume, feels so poetic and intentional. What does it personally mean to you, and how does it reflect the work that you do?
So it's an interesting story how I came up with this, because I just wanted a name for this space, not just my name as a professional. And I'm very connected to moon and the stars and anything that comes to do with femininity and all that. But I couldn't find the right name. And one day I was sitting in my office here and we were decorating, and I have this beautiful tapestry behind me. And on top of it, the name of it is La Plume. And I'm looking at it, I'm like,
Wow.
that is perfect. That is absolutely perfect. And then I was telling the girls, and they went to French school, so they understand French. And they're like, well, it means feather, right? I'm like, no, but that's even more perfect.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, that's what it is. And I love it. It's been great. It just resonates with me. Feather is so gentle and, represents nature. And I love birds. It's just
Airy,
light
right?
and airy and feminine.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Love it.
Mm.
That's great. So you just describe your philosophy as consciousness is medicine. For someone hearing that for the first time, what does that mean to you?
To me, it could be consciousness, it could be awareness. It's just when we are present and we're conscious of what we're doing, we're aware of where we come from, of our triggers, of our personalities, our behaviors. That's when the healing starts. When you are aware, then you can make a change. If you're not aware or conscious of things, you can't make a change. So that's that good connection for me. That makes sense.
Lovely. What was the moment or the season that led you to create La Plume? Was it born from your own healing or what you saw in other women or how did that come
Yeah.
about?
Yeah. It was from my own years ago. Um, when just start a story this way. Both our girls got diagnosed with ADHD, and it was hard to raise children because I didn't know anything about it. I just knew like they were different and they were irritating me because they didn't do things like I'm used to because I'm very not that. And so it was difficult times. And I was reading books and I was going with them to therapy and all of these things. And I'm like, they're not the problem. It's me. I need to look at myself and change the way I parent these kids. And that's where it all started because I started looking into my own stuff, into my own, childhood, how I grew up, why is certain things that they do upsetting me so much? Like, why? It doesn't really, it's not important, really. And so started to dig deep and heal. And then I joined a program for women, and that opened my world entirely because I wasn't anymore just stay home mom, knowing how things are supposed to go and following a certain pattern and certain expectations. And this how I am. No, I really looked deep within and discovered I'm so feminine and I'm so powerful and gentle and sensitive. And it's okay. I don't have to hide that just because there's some expectation of me or societal anything. I just started seeing it as a superpower. And while I was going through the program, it was in a group of women and we created great relationships and friendships. And then COVID hit. And I was missing that circle, missing the women in physical like space. And that's when my idea came from. I need to create something for me or for us here. So I created a first group on Meetup, just simply women's circles. And we started women's circles. We would meet at the park to begin with. And then weather, happened and all of this. I'm like, no, I'm going to need space. So I just started this to offer space for women to get together, to heal together. And then, one thing led into another. Like I was so eager and hungry for helping other women to grow and heal or whatever. So I did multiple courses and programs and learnings and then you think well I probably have to have a company if you want to really do this, and so that's how it all started
Yeah.
so
I was
much.
gonna that was you kind of answered a couple of the questions I was gonna ask you. You went right down the path because I was curious about the women's circles and the sound baths and the energy work that you did, and wanting to find out, how that became a part of your path. But you just kind of led down that. So thank you for answering the questions before I could even ask you.
Yeah, once I start talking about all this it just
I
kind
love
of
it.
goes.
It's great. No, I think that's
Yeah, yeah.
wonderful. Yeah.
um
Very
yeah,
feminine
because
of
when,
you.
when
That
Very
feminine
sorry.
feminine of
energy.
you. Queen energy, queen energy.
There's just so much. And when you're passionate about something, it just goes,
I
right?
love
And
it.
people
Yeah.
come into your life and you start meeting people that have the same interest. Like my bestie, really. She's also from Czech and she does the sound healing for me. And so it just flows and everything comes, it just you attract things that are aligned with your path. And Yeah, I'm just letting it all happen.
So, along those lines, I think a lot of our listeners are experiencing burnout or emotional overload. What helped you transition from doing life to feeling and being present again?
So I would start with I'm not perfect. I'm not living in the present all the time. Like it's easier for me maybe than for most or for what it used to be, but I'm still surviving life sometimes just a day at a time. But what helps me really is breathing. I'm a big believer of breath and just really trying to get back to the present moment. Like there is no past really. That's just a present moment that passed. But it was a present moment at that time, and there's no future really because again that's a future present moment, and just really to center. I even put my hand on my heart and take a deep breath and I connect and just like I'm here right now.
It's
And
hard to
yeah,
do too. That's really hard to do. You
it
have to
is.
really be in touch with your who you are and confident with who you are and be able to clear your mind, right? And
Yeah,
live present.
there's a book out that I was referred to way back, like I think I'm in my 20s, called "Wherever You Go, There You Are," and it
Mhm.
was about rushing through moments where you like we have this kind of this impatience with the moments that we're in. And it's really about just appreciating the moments in the moment that you're in. It's not always going to feel that great, but you got to feel those feelings and feel what's going on. I love the idea of breathing to kind of slow it down. And that's something I actually am working on as well as breathing exercises lately. And this next question is meaningful to me because I do think that my nervous system is processing a lot. And so on your site, you mentioned exploring your nervous system story. So I'd love to hear that. But for anyone new to the idea, what does it actually mean?
Yeah. Well, we grow up through experiences, and those experiences they shape our nervous system. And so when you get to be an adult and you want to explore your nervous system story, you're really going back and you looking at the events that happened and all of the inner parts that you had to create to kind of navigate the situation that you had to survive or lived in or through. And then just again, like awareness of, okay, this is triggering me. Where is it coming from? Can I change it? Can I understand it better? Why I am the way I am? Why I react the way I react? Because it all happened at one point. So that is the story. It's just it's a puzzle of or like a book, like a story of certain things that shape our nervous system.
Yeah, I was gonna say because as we grow up, we create these patterns, right? And to protect ourselves and keep us safe, and it can limit us for sure. So yeah,
For sure.
that's correct. Yeah, I think that's interesting.
Yeah.
I went to a therapist one time, and I shared this with Cheese before, and we were talking. I was going there with my ex-husband, and they were talking about certain things that trigger us, and
Mm.
he called it the sore elbow. So, like, if you're standing somewhere and you have a sore elbow and somebody pokes at it, you're like, "Oh," like we instantly,
Mhm.
"Ugh," it's a trigger, right? So,
Yeah.
I call it my sore elbow whenever
Yeah.
something happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting. Yeah,
It is. And it's everybody heals differently. Like there's multiple modalities. If you don't want to dig into every little thing that happened to you when you were a kid, it's okay too. There's different modalities. My personal experience is for me, understanding and connecting the dots is healing for me because I want to understand it. I don't want to just, there's other modalities and you don't really have to consciously go there and you can process and get rid of stuff. But for me, I just like to understand and where it comes from and what
that
I've
helps you
learned.
heal. That helps you heal when
To
you're
me,
there.
it
Yeah.
does. To me, it
Mhm.
does. And it's the acceptance of the things that happened and the parts of me that are now the triggers, but just understanding that I had to do it to survive, right? Or to deal with the situation. So I can't necessarily just like shut it out, shut that part out, and I don't want to do anything. I don't want this anymore. We need to accept it and acknowledge and thank that part of us because it kept us safe. And so that integration of those versions or parts of ourselves is what's healing as well. So to me, it makes sense to look at things and understand them.
Yeah. It does make sense.
Yeah. All right. So you offer a program called The Healing Mother. What inspired that? And what transformations have you seen between mothers and daughters?
So it's a quite new program. So I don't have that many past experiences, but I have my own with my own daughter, the oldest daughter, both of them. But the oldest, especially Jasmine, we didn't always have a great relationship because, again, I was at that time right in my healing and the beginnings of everything. She needed support that I didn't know how to give her. I didn't know what kind of support she needed. Um, I was critical. She triggered me too much. I was overly protective. I had lived in fear to lose. Like I was surviving too. And at that state, you can't really show up for the
How old
for
was
your
she
daughter.
then?
It was a few years, I would say, and it started kind of when she was 13. Now she's 19, but I think the last 2 3 years we've been great because I did a lot of tons of work on myself, and so did she. So it's possible, and now I understand what's needed, to keep the connection through the teen years that could be challenging sometimes. Um, and it kind of started with like friends asking me, like, what do I do? My daughter's this, and it's driving me crazy, or she doesn't want to talk to me. She shuts the door. We're yelling constantly. And so I'm like, I was like that once. I was yelling at her, she didn't trust me enough to tell me things at some point. So, and now it changed. So I know what I did and how I did it. And I figured I should probably, it was calling me to create a program for moms and daughters to go through puberty easier and not with the fear of, losing the relationship and stay connected and create that trust and connection. Yeah, but I am helping now one mom and she's 12 and it's just surprising, not surprising. It's
Familiar?
yeah, just very like I can see that when I say stuff, it resonates with her. And she's like, oh my gosh, that makes sense. And I work with the mom mostly because I think it's mostly the mom's work. The mom has more to work on herself than the child. And once mom's regulated and calm and understands what needs to be done, the child just automatically calms as well. Um, so it's just, I love seeing that. I love seeing that shift. And again, we're humans. We're not always going to be perfect. I'm still not. I still can, have attitude with her, whatever. It's just we're humans and it depends on a lot of things.
I like the
Um,
way you, like what you do. Most people say, "Oh, my child is doing this and they're doing that." I like how you reflect back in, like, what am I doing? How can I be more present? How can I be a better human? I'm going to add a little humor to this because I'm a big Caesar Milan fan. And he talks about he has a show, Better Human, Better Dog, right? So I believe that's what it's called, right? Better Human, Better Dog. And it's like it's really the human. You fix yourself so the energy of the dog can be better when you have a better energy. And so I believe everything pretty much is energy. And so
mhm.
I love that aspect of how you also take ownership as a human ownership for other mothers listening that feel disconnected and frustrated with their teenagers or their teens, what's one simple step, that you could offer up for them towards healing that relationship with their child?
That's, there's so much,
There's
right?
a
But
lot, right?
just to start with looking at yourself. It really
That's
start
one.
looking at
Hmm.
yourself. Like, how am I showing up? Am I calm when I approach her? Like, why am I worked up? Of course, if I am heightened, I rubbed it off on her. Like, why am I showing up that way? What is triggering me? But really just the self-awareness. Start there and start, I will give an example. When our daughter was in treatment and then the parents had a support group, and there was this dad. And I have a program for moms and daughters, but it's any parent really. This happened to be the dad, and he basically just said to us parents, "Well, I can't wait for them to fix her."
Oh my
And
gosh.
I'm just like, because I've already done some work. This was her second. It's like We already knew. And Richard, my husband, sat next to me and he looked at me. He's just like, you need to do the work too. There's nothing wrong with her. It started with you.
Right.
It always does. And so if you can't take responsibility and ownership of that and you're not willing to look within and see your part in it, it's not going to change. Or it is, and you're going to lose your kid.
Yeah, that's interesting because I feel like my daughter and I get along famously. Um, I used to tell her when she was in her, youth, she's 19 now, that, most teenage daughters and their moms don't get along, but we're going to, right? And I used to say that to her all the time. And she would just like nod and she remembers it. And we get along so easily. But with my son, we definitely have more similar characteristics, which I have to own that. Like in listening to this, it's like we kind of butt heads and we both want to make amends and find the other side of a fight, but we tend to like battle and get triggered, both of us, very easily. And that's where, like I was talking to you about, like, trying to get into breathing exercises myself, is like take a deep breath and like step back and reflect a little bit before you go in on it. So I'm definitely working on that myself. But and Tony and I have discussed generational healing. How do you see the awareness ripple from mothers and daughters, or fathers and mothers and sons, or once the healing begins?
There's this great movie that came out last year, I think, and it was called It Stops With Us or something like that. No, I forgot. I think It stops with me or something like that. The daughter repeats her mom's patterns in the relationship she found for herself, right? But her mom, like stayed in the relationship, abusive, all of that. Well, the daughter, it stopped with her. She said, no, this is stopping with me, because she had a daughter as well. So that's generational. And so there's, at some point, one of them was going to stop it. And then it has effect on like both sides, the mom and the daughter, and the daughter and the grandmother. Like it starts healing both sides, backwards and forwards.
So
It's
finding
it's
a way to
incredible.
like break the patterns, like Tony Robbins would say, take massive action. But like when you see those patterns, like when they start, the healing starts once that pattern breaks.
Yes, the pattern breaks. Takes a person to be aware of it and decide, I am not going to continue doing this. I'm not going to be like my grandmother and my mom, keeping the pattern.
Yeah,
It stops with me,
Yeah.
and
I
then make the
great.
change.
I recall as a young, I don't want to say teen, God bless my father, I love him, but he came back from Vietnam, and his way of healing was to drink or to smoke, and not smoke pot, but smoke cigarettes, right? And but as he got older, he quit doing that. But during the time of I guess the real pain he was going through, I remember watching him from afar. I'm like, I never want to be that way, right? And
Yeah.
that was me recognizing I don't like that. I would
Yeah.
never do that. And so, yes, I did drink along the way. We all test things out as kids as you get older, but I never rely on it. I don't drink alcohol on a daily basis. I don't feel like I need it. I'll have it on special occasions. And I think all of it's planted in my brain. Like I don't, because of that experience, don't like I recognized it. So I'm trying
Yeah.
to relate. I kind of relate to what you're saying, Darina.
Because a lot of kids will do the same as their parents. So
Hmm.
if, for example, if we're speaking about this, if a
Hmm.
parent drinks alcohol, the kid will either be the same or a complete opposite. I
Hmm.
don't drink either for that very reason.
Hmm.
And so it stops with me. I made that decision because I was aware, and I wasn't gonna, no matter what, I am not going to be like this. No matter what I go through, I'm not gonna reach for that.
Hmm.
And I haven't.
Yeah.
It takes awareness and then the action, the decision. It's really hard
Well,
because you're going against the grain.
it seems
Hmm.
like it goes both ways, right? It's
Hmm.
maybe the parent recognizing that they need to break the pattern, or the child recognizing that they want to break the pattern that they're seeing in their parents.
Sure.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
you often use sound baths and breath work. Is that, I don't know, is that related to what you do with the parenting side of things?
I mean, it can be incorporated. It all
Okay.
depends what the client wants and needs. Sound baths we do for groups. It's a class basically or an event. And I haven't had one in a while because she is pregnant. She's going to have a baby. She can't do it right now, but we'll bring it back. If a client is here and we have one-on-one sessions, sometimes I incorporate playing on the crystal bowls because the process can be very, it's just emotional and hard sometimes. And the sound of the crystal bowls is healing. It's frequency
Mhm.
and it resonates. So, if you just in a meditative state, you just lay down and let the sound enter your body, it's recalibrating your cells. It's just very healing. So it can be a part of the session as well. I have a few here, but I don't have all of the instruments like Mila, my facilitator, she has. Breath work is the same thing. Even if I have one-on-one session, I always incorporate breathing. The client comes in, we breathe first, we ground, we connect. And then from that place, we do work. And then at the end, again, I always make sure that the client is grounded and calm before I let them go and everything is closed off and just,
You let them go,
like
you go, "You look
nothing is.
plumed," when they leave. La
Oh,
plumed.
so. Mhm.
No, I love that. I did an interview actually with a gal named Carrie Faulkner. I'm gonna do a shout out with her. She's an end of life doula, and,
Oh, love that.
she does Reiki as well,
I love
and
that.
she does the sound baths, and I'm gonna be living closer to her now, so I'm gonna take advantage of it, but I always see
Nice.
her posts where they have the sound baths.
Mhm.
Somebody's doing this. I'm not sure if it's her or somebody else doing the sound bath, but people
Mhm.
are on a flotation device in the pool,
Oh,
and
yeah.
and they're all doing the sound bath, and I'm like, "So FOMO." I wanna be a part of that,
You
so
should. You
I
have
know,
to
I want
try
to,
it.
I'm
It's so
curious.
cool.
So
Yeah, I'm
you
very
do it
It's
curious.
so
either
nice.
on the ground or you
Uh,
can float, but like
She does it with
what
the incorporated
happens?
the water.
Is it
Yeah,
like just is it like
recalibrating. Yeah, she was
so there's
saying earlier.
crystals flying around you? I don't really I can't even
Yeah.
So
imagine this.
it's a crystal bowl. It's a bowl. I have one here. I can reach out for it. But it's a crystal bowl, and when you hit it with this tool and then you spin around it, it creates a sound wave. It's beautiful.
It's
It's just
beautiful, yeah.
just beautiful. And there's different sizes for the bowls, and so there's different frequencies and different sounds. And so they play, on all of them to create a melody of some sort, even. It's just very intuitive. So it's random. Flows. But yeah, we do it on the ground here in meditation. So I have the mats on the floor. Everybody lays down comfortably. You can have a blanket, you have a pillow, and you just lay down, close your eyes, and we start really slow, some breathing, and then she plays it for about 45 minutes, all kinds of instruments. And it gets you to a place where you just, some people have out of body experiences or you fall asleep. Like sometimes I fall asleep, which is very healing
Which you
because your
probably
body just
needed,
got
your body needed
relaxed.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I like to fall asleep. And you just surrender and the sound enters your body and does its magic. And it's just so relaxing and it just resets your energy um, and your flow and all of that. So
So do
it's
you
it's
do
beautiful.
individual and group
Yeah,
for
yes, we can do if somebody doesn't want to come as a group, you can do I can do individual for them. Yeah.
and the breath work can be incorporated or is always incorporated? How does that work?
We always do some kind of breath work because I think it's important to ground and to really reset and the oxygen really need it. It's a part of it, but it's not very long. It's just a few sequences of breaths. I don't do breath work as one of some of the when you go to a breath workshop, it's like it's a process. It gets you really to a different state of consciousness. I don't do those.
So typically you probably just do the breath work in the beginning to get the body to a certain point, and
Mhm.
then they're
Yeah.
relaxed and they're laying
Yeah.
down. And it could be in group setting or individual, and then you do the frequency with the bowls making the beautiful noise, and it just kind of it's like almost out of body experience
It is.
essentially.
I mean, yeah, it's very like dreamy.
Hmm.
Yeah. If you really let go and surrender and just let it, then yeah, it
You
can
should
it can be
embrace it. You'll get the most out of it
Mhm.
when you embrace it.
Yeah. Don't fight
Yeah.
it. Don't
Yes.
like
Yeah.
focus on the sounds. Don't think about them. Just just let it. Let it do its work.
Yeah, yeah. So, do you have one or two grounding practices listeners can do right now? Like if they're, maybe it's breathing. What kind of insight could you give that we could share, with the listeners? Maybe
I
if they're
think
if they're driving or cooking too, right? There's
I
something I don't
know.
know what it is, right? What
Yeah.
maybe it's breathing.
Yeah. The best thing is if you can run out of the house with bare feet and touch the ground with your bare
Oh,
feet,
yeah,
that's
I
the
heard
best
that.
grounding.
Yeah, I heard that.
Grass or dirt, and just stand there and just let it go, let it ground. That's
How
the
long
best.
how long would they do that for if they were to do that grounding?
A couple minutes. It doesn't need
Okay.
much. You
So just get
discharge
out there and
really
just go
the energy
and
really
then
fast. Yep.
right back
Yep.
in the house.
Yeah.
I love it.
And I usually just like stretch and open my arms, open my chest and take a deep breath at the same time. Or I lay down. Sometimes if it's like warm enough, I just lay down on the grass area and just lay there. And I
What ab
just let, Mother
Like we
Earth
did
to
as
just
kids. Remember when we did as kids? We
we
yeah.
used to
did
do
it.
that. Yeah.
When I was a kid, I ran outside barefoot all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. And we
It's
laid
just
on the
natural.
grass and we did all that stuff, right?
We did. So that's the best way. But if you're driving or cooking, you really can't, is the breath. Breath is grounding just to begin. It's just take some deep breaths. Even when somebody's like, "Oh, I don't have time to do that." Yes, you do. You can take 3 deep breaths on a red light.
Yeah.
You
Exactly.
know, you can take, you go wash your hands or you go to the bathroom, you're washing your hands. You take 3 deep breaths, like really into your belly, into your chest, and then out with your mouth. You can do that. It
That might be
takes a
that's
few
good
seconds.
practice to do that, like because like I was just saying, I was Tasmanian devil earlier today, right? And it's because I'm so busy. But had I like say, "Oh, I'm gonna run over here and I'm gonna go grab something. Oh, I'm gonna just take a couple deep breaths here," and then
Mhm.
right before I sit down and get on that Zoom meeting, take a few breaths.
I'm gonna do it right
So
now.
Yes. Yes.
yeah, let's do it.
Yes. Okay, I'm fascinated because you also lead full moon and new moon gatherings. So why work with lunar cycles? What do women gain from that rhythm? This
Um,
is all fascinating to me because I don't know, I've never heard of this, like full moon and new moon gatherings.
I know. It's a little woo woo, you would say. A lot of people say, "Oh, it's too woo woo for me." Well, it really isn't because thousands of years ago, the women, their cycles were cycled with the lunar cycle, and it was regular. There was no like, "Oh, when is my period starting?" No, you knew. You look up to the moon and you knew because it was natural cycle. It was
So
natural
cool.
flow. It's just now about modern technology, the food we eat, the fake lights we use. I mean, there's a list I can give you,
Artificial,
right? That
artificial stuff.
influences.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then
Um,
you get to me where you're post menopause, and then the moon just doesn't connect with you anymore. No cycles.
well,
It's a big middle finger.
actually, I would still, I would argue with you because even post menopause, there is still a cycle with your body still wants to cycle with the moon. And so there is, energy fluctuates still like before. You may not have a period, but your hormones still fluctuate a little bit. And your energy does with the moon. It usually, yeah.
I
So,
think
You hear that,
I
Lunar?
think that
that's a different
I
story.
think so because like I think I would get more emotional in my cycle during my cycle. Like it'd almost be like, oh yeah, it's time because I'd be kind of like in a pissy mood once a month, and that was it. All the rest of the time, I'd be happy as it could be, and I still kind of feel like that's happening, and I don't have my cycle anymore.
Um, So
Yeah,
if when you don't have your cycle and you want to still kind of live in a cyclic way, because it is beneficial, you can mentally think about the moon and cycle with the moon. I mean, there's a whole lecture on that, but
that's
you can
awesome.
still realize, oh, it's full moon or it's new moon or it's, and kind of like that's my cycle because it really naturally, like it really is. Yeah.
So you hear that, Lunar? I'm coming for you. I'm gonna cycle with you. Um,
Yep.
so so when it comes to healing inside a community, how is a group experience at Le Plume different from any type of traditional individual therapy?
I'm a strong believer that women need women, men need men. It's just what it is. Because once you gather in that same energy and you start talking, you sharing, what's happening or stories. And once something is said out loud and another woman listens and hears your story, that itself is incredibly healing. So when we gather and share and cry together or laugh together, whatever that is, it's healing. It's massively healing. We can get there's a lot of wisdom, especially I love the circles when we and it depends who comes, right? Because but if we have young women and then older women, those are the best because they have so much to share and to teach and listen and learn. We all know something. I'm never here as a I am like a preacher. I'm here and I'm teacher giving you all of no, it's such a community like because we all know something. And I'm always inviting other women to share their knowledge and their wisdom with us. I
So
think
come
it's
come with
healing.
an open mind, come with connection, come with sharing vibes,
Yeah.
and
And
yeah,
it's
I love that.
yeah. And support, because not all of us have family close or girlfriends that always have time for us or somebody we can really trust. And so I'm opening my space to provide that safe and supportive environment for whoever needs.
Absolutely.
So, without naming names, can you share a moment when you felt like, yes, this is why I do this work?
Yeah, there's especially one client that she comes every week. She's very regular. She loves coming here and I can see how it's helping her and she is changing in front of my eyes. Truly, she's becoming stronger and more emotional, but that's not necessarily bad, right? Because she's starting to feel the emotions and she's starting to be connected to herself and she's starting to recognize her intuition. Like it's amazing. Her commitment to come every week is why I do this because if this wasn't given her anything, she keeps coming. So
That's
it's great.
wonderful.
She's been through a lot and she has a lot of guilt and she thinks she doesn't deserve better. Trying to, teach her that or show her that she is worth it.
I imagine that in some ways, the relationship you have with your daughter also now, is a reminder of why you do the work, right? Because you were your
Yes.
own first patient in that regard. And
Yeah.
I'm so happy that Jasmine and you have found your way with the work that you've put in. That's got to be a big reward because that's someone who's very close to you, obviously, your daughter. And
Yeah.
it's got to feel
Thank
good
you.
to have that positive, mutual beneficial love and relationship. And
It's the best thing ever. And I wish I mean, I'm wishing and I'm hoping that most mothers have a great relationship with their daughters, but I know what it's like to not have it. And just to be able to spend time together because we want to and because we need it and it's respectful and it's happy and she tells me stuff she wouldn't tell me before to a point where her girlfriends are, you tell that to your mom? And she's like, yeah. If I can't tell my mom, then you know, she's not afraid.
I love
And
it.
and that's
How
just
old is your daughter
everything.
now? How is your daughter?
She's n- she's 19, almost 20.
Wonderful.
Or because Tony and I always get real on this show, Darina, how would you respond to a friend who's beginning to notice her nervous system stories showing up in daily stress?
I would definitely advise her to start looking into somebody that can guide her through her process. We can do it on our own, we really can, but just sit with yourself and connect and be aware of where it's coming from. Why am I this way? What is causing it? And then just see if you can change it or eliminate the triggers or something that is not for you anymore. But if you can find someone to guide you through it, that's always best. But otherwise, just do some work for yourself, w- with yourself, for yourself mainly. Even if it's just meditation or you join some class or something where it's just for you. Because most women put themselves last. And I get it. I was there. I've been there. I for many, many, many years. Everybody else, the family was more important. They have to be taken care of first, but you burn out. And then you can't show up for them. It's like, I know it's kind of lame, but like on the airplane, you put the mask on yourself first. And it's like that in life. If your nervous system is shutting down, if you're keeping being triggered all the time, you can't really take care of others and you can't do your job well if you have one. You don't want to live like that either. Like I'm not happy for you if you have to live like that, like I want better
Mhm.
for you. And so um just it starts with awareness. Like I need help with this. I need to start taking care of this. Um, it starts with that. And then see what you can afford, what you can do if you know someone, or just look for someone, what resonates with you. Because not everybody likes to do talk therapy. Well, then do some energy work or there's so much out there. Um,
So kind of
just don't,
piggybacking to what you're just saying there, Darina, there's if there's someone here listening and they're feeling um, maybe this is what I need. Like, how does one best, get started working with you at La Plume?
go online on my website. There's my phone number, text me and we can talk. Or you can just, if you don't want to talk with me first, you can schedule. There's a schedule on the website, different things that I offer. There's a 15-minute free phone consultation and see what we can do together. But my phone number is out there and you can text me any time of the day. I'll reach out and we can start from there.
That's great.
And we'll have your website in our links.
Yes.
So what is coming next? Like, do you have any retreats, circles, or projects you're excited about?
For this year, I'm done, pretty much done with the women's circles because holiday. So I kind of took that off the calendar until end of the year. I do really want to do a Christmas party though, just to hang out. There's nothing serious, just to hang out, have a glass of something, and maybe exchange ornaments or something. So I'm thinking mid December, probably Saturday or Sunday afternoon. So that's coming up. I'm gonna announce and do some promo for that. But then next year, I want to start again with women's circles and gatherings. And no retreat so far. We had something planned with my friend that's pregnant right now. So that's kind of open. I don't know how soon after she has the baby she wants to come. She can come back and do something. But we even planned on taking 5 to 10 women, either one or two cars, up to Sedona and do
Very
a day
nice.
trip, you know, visit because we go quite often, visit the places that we feel are healing and have some good lunch up there and just
Sounds
be
lovely.
together, you
Yep.
know?
That sounds
Yeah,
great.
so that's about it for right now. No sound bats as of right now. As I said, I don't know when she's coming back. So um yeah.
And if every listener could embody one belief after today's episode, what would you want that to be?
That we're all worth it. And I think acceptance is a big word for me. Just accept everything about you. Even the bad, even the good, but is it really bad? It was there for a reason at some point. Just accept all and
Embrace
we're all
yourself.
worth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Love
embrace
it.
yourself.
And gratitude and just have gratitude for life.
Mhm.
That's a big one for me. That is very grounding as well, actually, when we were talking about what we can do really quick to ground. If you can for a moment be grateful for something, that is big.
I love the gratitude cheese will tell you. That's my thing. That's
Yeah.
my jam. That's my
I just
jam.
started it. I just started a gratitude
Super true.
journal. But yeah, absolutely. And listen, Darina, thank you so much for being here and for sharing your medicine with us today.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah.
it's wonderful. And if today's conversation resonated with you, please follow, share, invite other women to join this table. You can reach our podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, or Amazon.
And you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and X. Make sure you also follow Darina and La Plume for all gatherings, circles, and upcoming offerings. How can the audience find you, Darina? What's your website?
Laplume.life, or I'm on Instagram under my name, Darina Signeski.
All right.
Love
So we'll
it.
have those
We'll have all
posted.
that stuff. Yep. I'll
Yep.
make sure to get that on there for you, Dorina. Okay. And
Thank
remember,
you.
fix your crown and protect your peace, queens.
And you can always have a seat at our table.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody. Thank you, Dorina.
Thank
Thank you,
you. Bye.
Darina.